Today has been the perfect example of Murphy's Law in action. My office network was hijacked by some kind of Trojan spam bot, I know not what, and I was really bummed out. This probably happened like 24 to 48 hours ago, and I was really trying to figure out what was going on. It seemed like a poltergeist had seized the machine. The drawers are opening, strange programs are opening and closing, other programs are locking up. Total nonsense. At first I thought there was something internal on the computer, and then as I started thinking about it a little bit more, I kind of stopped and was running through like all the different scenarios. Would this be the problem? Is it a compatibility problem? Was it that video editing program? And I was sort of trying on all these different possible explanations for what the heck had just happened to this entire network. Why was it behaving like it was? And then it completely occurred to me, like just in a flash, this is some incredibly sophisticated program. Whoever's writing these things they're like as good as like the Microsoft Corporation or something. They were able to snake through all my antivirus, firewall, everything, somehow slip in something that seized control of my Windows XP system. I was not a happy camper. So this morning I got up and I said, okay, we've got to rebuild everything from the bottom up. And very fortunately, that atrocious, hideous work of the devil, Windows Vista, has now been superseded by Windows 7, and it's just now available in the past few weeks. If this had happened like a month ago, I would have been kind of at the mercy of all the things about Vista that I really didn't want to have to deal with. So fortunately, I went downtown, I picked up 2 copies of Windows 7, totally reloaded the machine, did all the backing and filling, loading all the other software and all the ancillary stuff, and this particular kind of quirky program by Sony in the DirectX control, so I could have this camera communicate with the computer, etc., etc. Wow, and it was really nice to have at the end of this day the ritual, my standard ritual of, and I'm sure I'm not going to get this done every day. You just can't get it done every day, but to get this vid up and get it up on YouTube is so empowering. This has been such a useful endpoint, or a useful target, a useful thing. I would like to get this thing done every day if possible, and really get that little, Tony described, the 1 degree of angle on the club face hitting the golf ball kind of thing, just that one little bit of sort of focusing, concentrating personal alchemy in there. But I knew I had to get through this big chunk of rebuilding all my machines, which was not something I was particularly enthusiastic about doing. But knowing that I had this ritual goal, or this ritual target at the end that I really did want to get around to, but I wasn't going to do that, I couldn't possibly technically do it until the machines were up and running, gave me this huge sense of incentive and this desire to get this thing completed. And now it is all completed. It's 5:33 Eastern Standard Time. That's what my day's been about today. It's been very interesting. Everything's working perfectly. I'm enormously relieved, and I'm actually very happy with this new Windows operating system. It's clearly a much cleaner, tighter piece of code, even than Windows XP, and it's taking some getting used to, and it's very frustrating in some ways, but I'm sure that learning curve will quickly take care of itself, and I'll be up to speed in 48 hours. So here is I think is a very fine example of why having some performative ritual, some bar you set for yourself that you try to consistently, within reason, get over that bar, get over that little personal test of engagement in spite of stuff, because having these ritualistic focal points really does help you direct the process, because it adds kind of like an attractor or something that really draws you toward the conclusion of the process, instead of getting kind of stuck in the middle of, oh yeah, I'll take care of this tomorrow or something like that. It's like, well, if I do that, I can't get the video done, so I've really got to get all this other stuff done. It gives you one place. I guess the really good image for this is to have like this powerful magnet that's one step beyond the finish line, okay? So you have to think one step beyond the finish line. The finish line would be having Windows 7 up and and everything loaded and everything running and all the different networking parts all compatible. Everything's great. Cool, fine. But the one extra step on this thing is I need to go one step beyond that finish line to get the YouTube up. So this is good, and I really recommend everybody here do this stuff and understand that you feel inarticulate, you're silly, you're probably making a fool of yourself, there's a learning curve, there's a development curve, but it's such a powerful developmental thing to do, and just put your stuff out there and let that develop you. That's how you're going to develop to your next level of skill, by constant, proactive, deliberate, focused, aimed engagement toward this daily target that you hit. And that's how simple it really is. It's no more complicated than that. But I think unless you have a personally significant target, or something you're always going to try to shoot for that day, you don't really have something to bring everything else you're doing into sort of an ordered pattern. Everything else just kind of jumbles around. But the minute you have that powerful, chaotic attractor, wow, you just zip through, you hit it, and you say, okay, now I feel like I've got my day. So that's my lesson, that's how to do it. That's what's going to get you through.